Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Chris Flaherty, Robert Paris, and John Vias. Peter Brown with the weather, Chris Flaherty with the community calendar, Liz Gillespie with sports, and Marge McDonald with senior news. Thank you for joining us. The cause of a house fire that resulted in the death of one man and the hospitalization of 3 other people has been determined to be improper disposal of smoking material. As reported on B News at about 1 p.m. on Thursday, January 9, the Burlington Fire and Police Departments responded to a residential house fire at 26 Maryvale Road with a report of people still inside. Upon arrival, first responders found heavy smoke coming from the windows of the home and flames coming from out the front window. A male neighbor and a delivery man, Federal Express man, helped an elderly woman escape the home prior to the fire department's arrival. The woman was transported by ambulance to an area hospital with serious injuries. Another man, reported to be in his 50s, was found deceased in the home. Now, Burlington Fire Chief Michael Patterson, Burlington Police Chief Michael Kent, Middlesex District Attorney Marion Ryan, and State Fire Marshal Peter J. Ostrowski said the cause of the fire was the improper disposal of smoking materials. The fire started in the first floor living room where the victim was found. A melted plastic bucket containing a Pall Mall cigarette remains was found near the couch. There was additional evidence of smoking materials found in the living room. The fire was the second in 24 hours in the state caused by smoking material, Fire Marshal Ostrowski said. He reminded all smokers to use deep, sturdy ashtrays or metal cans with sand and to always ensure all smoking material is fully extinguished. 2 men suspected in a string of break-ins and burglaries, over several months, including what appears to be an attempted break-in in Burlington, have been arrested. Brookline Police, working in cooperation with Boston Police Investigators, Boston Regional Intelligence Center, and the Special Investigations Unit, as well as Stoneham Police, Belmont Police, and Burlington Police, has been investigating a series of ongoing commercial burglaries in the greater Boston area. These commercial burglaries appear to be related and are believed to have begun in April of 2019. According to police, on January 13th, with the assistance of the Boston Police and Malden Police, the suspects in these incidents were arrested on warrants relative to 2 of 4 Brookline incidents. The suspects are identified as Michael Wallace, 52, of Malden, and Mark Burho, Sr., 44, of Charlestown. Both suspects were captured on video evidence approaching and leaving the Brookline sites. Also on January 13th, pursuant to search warrants issued on their homes and vehicles, evidence, including clothing and tools, were recovered. These pieces of evidence further link the suspects to several other breaks they are suspected of. During the burglaries, the suspects would target safes, registers, and offices at various locations. In at least 2 of the incidents, the suspects removed large safes. In Burlington, the suspects may be involved in a January 5 incident at Burlington Famous Pizza on Bedford Street. Police Chief Michael Kent said entry to the building was not gained and nothing was taken. The incident is still under investigation and there are no charges at this time. The town clerk's office is set to have a busy year. They're going to run a total of 4 elections and primaries. BNEWS Director Rich Hosford went to learn more about this election cycle and has this report.
2020 is going to be a busy year for democracy. In Burlington, voters will be going to the polls 4 times this year. The first will be the presidential primary on March 3rd, where voters can select their party's presidential nominee, and independent or unenrolled voters can choose at the polls which party race they want to weigh in on. Then the town election for town-wide offices and town meeting seats will be held on April 4th. The state primary for state-level positions will be held on September 1st. And finally, the state and presidential election will be held on Tuesday, November 3rd.
So every other year we have a November ballot that has just state people and may also have like a senator, federal senator. This year, because it's a presidential election, we also have the presidential candidates. And that's the point where you see the Democratic candidate, the Republican candidate, the Libertarian candidate, the Independent candidate, all of them will be on one ballot. and you choose which one of those different candidates you want to vote for.
Warfield said that for every election, it is the goal of her office to make it as easy as possible for people to cast ballots and participate in our democratic system, even those who cannot make it to the polls.
Individuals who can't physically make it in are also eligible to do absentee voting. And in fact, we send out applications to those people that are on a permanently disabled list and to anyone who requests it. An application, once we get that application back and we get the ballots in, and that's usually about 3 weeks prior to the presidential election, we will send out a paper ballot to them and they can send that back through the mail, or they could have a family member drop it off.
For the presidential primary in March and the presidential election in November, the town will have early voting to help give busy residents more time to vote.
Early voting is different. Early voting is that, for a convenience to the voters, we set up a time where they can come here to Town Hall and actually physically vote their ballot. It is tracked. It is not read until the election day, but at least it allows them to vote the ballot earlier than the election day.
Though the most attention is placed on the presidential race, Warfield said that all the elections are important and that the town election is when the results can more directly affect residents' lives. Also, when you're one of a few thousand voters casting ballots for local races, you have more say than when you are one of over 150 million voters participating in a presidential election.
Your vote actually kind of goes further. The other interesting thing is, although we all pay federal tax, we all send money to the state, the town level is where the money is actually spent. And so when you're voting for selectmen or school committee or board of health or even town meeting representative, you're actually voting for the people that are spending your money. And so you have a bigger say, I feel, in those elections, or maybe a bigger stake, because that's our money being spent on the local level.
From Burlington Town Hall, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
The hearing room at Town Hall was packed with Burlington firefighters and many family members as a whopping 8 current members were promoted on Monday to such positions as Assistant Fire Chief, Captain, and Fire Lieutenant. The promotions were done by Town Administrator Paul Sagarino at the recommendation of Chief Michael Patterson. Captain Andrew J. Conady, a 25-year member with the department, was appointed as the new Assistant Fire Chief. Chief Patterson said he was made captain in July of 2011 and is currently the shift commander of Group 3. He previously served as the Department Training Communications Captain from 2011 to 2016. Conady started as a civilian fire dispatcher in 1993 and became full firefighter in November of '95. He was made lieutenant in '03 and held that rank until being promoted to captain. Conady has a Bachelor of Science in Fire Administration from Waldorf University and is an accredited Massachusetts fire chief. Lieutenant Stephen M. McLean was promoted to fire captain. He has 27 years with the department and was first named lieutenant in 2002. He is currently assigned to the Fire Prevention Division and previously served as Fire Lieutenant for Group 2 for 14 years. He also operates McLean & Son Construction. McLean also has a Bachelor of Science degree in Emergency Management from Riviera College. Firefighter Michael Fontenay was promoted to lieutenant. He also has 27 years with the department and is currently assigned as a firefighter EMT to Group 2. He garnered some leadership experience when he served as acting fire lieutenant last spring. He has a Bachelor of Science in Urban Forestry and Arboriculture at the University of Massachusetts Amherst and Associates of Science in Fire Protection and Safety Technology from Middlesex Community College. Firefighter James J. Haypenny Jr., a 21-year member of the department, was promoted to fire lieutenant. He currently serves as a firefighter EMT in Group 2. Haypenny has served on the executive board of the International Association of Firefighters Local 2313 and was an active participant on the department's staffing committee. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Special Education and Adapted Physical Education at Bridgewater State College. Firefighter Sean R. Kenny was also promoted to fire lieutenant, a 17-year member of the department. He is currently assigned as a firefighter paramedic in Group 2. Kenny is a certified fire instructor 1 and is enrolled in Fire Officer 1. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from Merrimack College and earned an Associate's degree of Science in Fire Science from Middlesex Community College. Additionally, he earned an additional 30 credits in Fire Science at Columbia Southern University. Firefighter Craig W. Callahan was also promoted to fire lieutenant. He has been with the department for 11 years and is currently assigned as a firefighter EMT to Group 3 and is also a technician consulting safety officer for Safety Partners, Inc. He has earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Marketing, Mass Communications from Quinnipiac University, and a Bachelor of Science degree in Fire Science from Columbia Southern University. Firefighter Ernest E. Cavino III, a 17-year member of the department, was also promoted to fire lieutenant. He is currently assigned as a firefighter EMT to Group 2 and has worked as a CPR instructor with retired Fire Captain William Devereaux at Technical Medical Training for the past 16 years. Cavino was vice president at Burstone Associates, Inc., a snow management company, for many years. He has earned a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology with a minor in computer science from Stonehill College. Firefighter Sean P. Connors, a 22-year member of the department, was also promoted to fire lieutenant. He is currently assigned as a firefighter EMT to Group 4 and is a special police officer for the town of Burlington. He is a veteran of the United States Army, where he served as a combat engineer. Connors has earned an Associate of Science in Fire Protection and Safety from Middlesex Community College. The question of a bylaw that could be used to recall townwide elected officials has been part of the discussion of the Bylaw Review Committee, but there are still many unanswered questions. During Tuesday night's meeting, the committee heard from the Board of Appeals and former town meeting member Adam Tigas, who has been working on the language of the bylaw. He said he thought of the need for it after listening to people debate the question of changing the treasurer tax collector from elected to appointed after the announcement that Brian Curtin, who had held the position for over 40 years, was looking to retire. He said on multiple occasions he heard those arguing to keep the position elected say that if someone unqualified was elected, that the town could recall them. He looked into it and realized that no bylaw exists to recall public officials, so he wrote one using area communities as examples. The way it would work, if passes, as written, is that a citizen committee of voters looking to recall an official would have to be formed. The committee must get the requisite number of signatures from registered Burlington voters within 35 days of the filing. That number would be 15% plus 1 of the total votes cast in the most recent annual townwide election. If that happens, it would trigger a special recall election, the date of which would be set by the Board of Selectmen in accordance with state law. All regular notifications to voters would be made by the town clerk. As the draft bylaw is currently written, during the recall election, voters would be asked if the official should be removed from office. If they vote yes, the current office holder's term would end 10 business days from the date of the election. The draft bylaw also states that anyone else interested in running for the seat can fill nomination papers and be on the same ballot as the recall question. That seems a bit odd. If no candidate is on the ballot, the seat would be filled by the normal procedure of that board or committee for filling vacancies when someone else leaves during their term. Town Clerk Amy Wordfield said she was unconvinced it was necessary to have such a bylaw. She said under state law that anyone who is convicted of a felony is prohibited from holding elected office, so most really egregious behavior is accounted for by that rule. She also pointed out that for possible disagreements over policy, most boards have at least one open seat per year, and any eligible voter can run and try and make their voices heard. As plans for the Burlington Sculpture Park move along, submissions for artwork are now being considered by the committee. BNEWS reporter Chris Flaherty spoke to Chairman Jonathan Sachs for an update on preparations for the park.
As plans for the Burlington Sculpture Park move closer to becoming a reality, the subcommittee established by the Planning Board is now accepting artwork submissions for the park.
We know we've got a few right now, but we're not going to draw any conclusions about how many entries we have until the thing closes either on the 17th of January, or we may push it back a little longer if we feel that we need a little bit more time. We're guessing we're going to get a mix of things that sculptors have and some that they're actually planning to create for us. We have a grant of roughly $10,000 that we got from the good folks at Nordblum, which is going to allow us to give out roughly four $2,500 stipends that would allow the sculptor to bring their work to us, to display it for 2 years in our own sculpture park. And then what we did ask for is an option to purchase, because if the town really falls in love with the piece and everybody is just, we wanted the ability to keep it. At that point, we'll have to establish a price and raise some more funds. Fundraising will be an ongoing issue, because if we're going to get new works every few years, we're going to need an ongoing source of financing. And that's clearly one of the things that the committee is thinking about, is, you know, where more funds going to come from.
Sachs explained that leasing sculptures for a minimum of 2 years at a time could allow for a revolving door of artwork in and out of the park, with biannual unveiling ceremonies that residents can look forward to through the years.
We're going to put them on the ground somewhere, probably cover them with tarps so that we can have an official unveiling, and we'll invite the whole town to it. It'll be a big party. Then every 1 year or every 2 years, when we have new works, it should be something that people look forward to, like, wow, they're having a whole bunch of new sculptors, and there's going to be bands playing, and there's going to be games for kids.
Looking ahead, the committee hopes to review and select submissions at their January 21st meeting, and then move forward with a search for a potential location for the park. As of right now, several locations around town center are being considered. Sachs expressed that the park would boost Burlington's artistic appeal and broaden the scope of what the town already has to offer residents and neighbors.
And this is one of the points of the whole project, is we have a very strong commercial base in both office parks and malls, great school system. Other than the community theater, which is an award-winning community theater, there's not a lot of public presence of arts in town. And for a bunch of reasons, the sculpture park rang a bell with a lot of people. We are really feeling our way here, something that's never been done in town before. But I think everybody in the committee is convinced that when this actually lands, it's going to be really popular. People are going to like it.
The Sculpture Park Committee is aiming for an opening in June of this year. For more information, visit artforburlington.org. Until next time, this is Chris Flaherty for BNEWS Weekly.
A high-tech materials and manufacturing company is looking to move from Boston to Burlington. In a cover letter for a special permit application to the Burlington Planning Department, Attorney Robert Buckley of Reamer & Bronstein explained that Poly6 Technologies, Inc. is looking to relocate to the building at 164 Middlesex Turnpike that is part of the Northwest Park Plan Development District. It is the intent of Poly6 Technologies to relocate its existing Boston facilities to a portion of those premises to accommodate its current and future operations, Buckley wrote. According to its website, Poly6 is an advanced materials and manufacturing company that came out of MIT's Langer Laboratory in 2016. The company specializes in the global aviation industry, additive manufacturing, 3D printing, and Industry 4.0, which is automation and data exchange in manufacturing technology and processes. Former students of BHS, no, that's not what we're doing. We're doing Burlington Walks is a new winter program held by the Burlington Parks and Recreation Department, and it's dedicated to enjoying the beauty of open spaces in town as well as learning local history. BNews reporter John Vias went to check out the program and has this report.
With no poison ivy nor any mosquitoes in sight, winter is the best season for walking. The Burlington Parks and Recreation Department has started a new program devoted to growing awareness of open space in Burlington and witnessing the beauty of nature and learning more about our local history. The first day of Burlington Walks was a leisurely hike down Mill Pond Conservation Land in Woburn, Massachusetts.
Today we walked around the Mill Pond. Most people in Burlington, I think, are aware of the Mill Pond, but I'm also going to show them the landlocked forest. I've done this last year too for a few walks, and most people said I've never been here, and that's kind of what I like to hear.
Marlies Henderson arranges and guides local open space explorations and adventures on land and water, focusing on camaraderie and local history, mental and physical health. The Land and Water Tour Guide says there's a story to go with every trail, and a nature walk can help lift a person's spirits and boost their immune system. She hopes to share her love of nature with more members of the community.
If you've never tried it, you have to try it, and you will find that you feel so much better. And if it's for a lunch walk for your work, you'll feel rejuvenated, your productivity goes up, and that may not be necessarily what you want, but your boss might want it, and so forth and so forth. I feel that historic information, local historic information, adds to any place where you walk. So if you walk down any street and you learn a nice little tidbit about the history of that street gets more value for you. You can be proud of your street. You can be proud of your woods, where there's maybe a foundation of a certain person that was, in history. That adds to every walk you do. It's not just putting one foot in front of the other, even though you do have to do that. But it's an enriching, it's like you can make soup with just chicken and water, but you can also put all kinds of spices in, and that's what I do.
Burlington Walks will be taking place on January 22nd, February 5th, February 19th, and March 4th. Sign-ups cost $12 per person, and pre-registration is required. For more information, visit the Parks and Recreation page at burlington.org or contact Marlies Henderson at 978-808-6634. From Mill Pond in Woburn, Massachusetts, I'm John Vias for BNEWS Weekly.
Former students of BHS made a special appearance back at the high school for Alumni Artist Day. BHS students got to learn what they do in their job field, all involving art. BNews reporter Robert Paris files this report. Let's have
BHS alumni paid a visit back to the high school. On Friday, January 10th, the high school art department held an event called Alumni Artist Day.
It started out because for many years we had been having students would just come and visit, during the middle of their freshman or sophomore year. They would come during the break between first and second semesters just to show their work, and we would put them in our classes and show our advanced art students what to expect in their freshman and sophomore year in college. But there were a lot of kids who were coming just to say hi, a lot of former students who were coming to say hi. So Christina had the idea to bring them all together on the same day and create an event about it, and not just have them talk to one class, but have them talk to all of our art students. And that's how it happened. So we have some people who are Skyping in, we have some people who are coming locally, and some people who take off time from work. It's been a really great day.
A few of the presenters were talking with students via Skype and Google Hangouts. However, I had a chance to speak with the artists that were in the school that day.
I remember attending Alumni Artist Day when I was a student here, and it was just so mind-blowing to see everyone go off and do their own thing and then still work in some creativity into what they do professionally. And then to be able to come back and share that is just, a great experience.
BHS had a really big influence on me and my art as a young person. It's part of the reason that I am where I am today. And so I like to come back and see how the school has changed, what the students are doing now, and pay it forward.
Well, normally I come back to visit all of the teachers anyway, and they provided this really great opportunity to, instead of going into just the individual classes and seeing one teacher, we now get to speak in front of all of the classes just about our work and our experiences.
Lastly, students should take this opportunity to learn from the alumni and think about what they want to do in the near future.
There is a wide variety of art careers that being a Artist is a wide and diverse arena. We have graphic designers here, architects, fashion designers, illustrators, people working in the fashion industry as well as multimedia industry. We had Rachel Gregorio here from MITRE working as an engineer. So there's a really wide array of different professions out there for our students to pursue.
From Burlington High School, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
It's a cold day today, but what's in store for the rest of the week? To find out, we go now to BNews weatherman Peter Brown for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Chris Flaherty to see what's happening in and around Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the next 7 days, and it's great to be back with all of you here, and I hope you all enjoyed the temperatures that we saw last weekend that were in the mid-70s. So that was something that unfortunately we are not going to be seeing any more of in the near future, that's for certain. But we actually broke our all-time record January temperature. So that was something exciting, and it was absolutely beautiful. A real taste of summer here in the dead of winter. But as we start our period here going into Friday, we are going to see much more typical conditions for January, actually below average temperatures. We're actually going to be seeing high temperatures, if you can believe it, going into this weekend that are going to be nearly 50 degrees colder than they were 1 week ago. So that's really incredible, real telling how difficult the weather can be here to predict in New England, even in the wintertime. But again, like I said, we're going to be probably 6, 7, 8 degrees below average as we start out our Friday. It's going to be really chilly, a strong wind out there if you're out and about in the Burlington area. It has a real Arctic feel out there. Temperatures feeling like it's going to be near zero with the wind. If you're stepping out at night, going out to dinner, doing any shopping in the Burlington area on Friday evening, again, temperatures are going to be pretty chilly. In fact, this low temperature of 17, we're anticipating a storm coming in a little bit sooner. Now it looks like that storm is going to be pushed off a bit, so we're going to have clearer skies. So I'm expecting temperatures are probably going to be down near around zero in the Burlington area going into Saturday morning. So pretty chilly, nowhere near these record highs in the 50s that we can see at this time of the year in the 60s. A real feel to January. The only thing that's a good, real, shining moment here is our days keep getting longer. So that is great news. Now, as we go ahead, let's take a look at what we're going to be expecting in terms of temperatures and precipitation coming up for the next 7 days in the Burlington area. As we go ahead, we're going to take a look at what the Climate Prediction Center is looking at for us in terms of precipitation. Now, up here in the Burlington area and all of New England, in fact, most of the eastern third of the nation, looks like we're expecting above average precipitation. Now, when you couple that with pretty cold air coming up, you know what that means. Looks like we have some snow and ice in the future, and that will definitely be reflected when we see the 7-day in a little bit. Now, as we go ahead, let's take a look at what we're going to be expecting in terms of temperature coming up for the next 7 to 10 days. And this is something that we've really not seen too much of since the middle and early parts of December. Temperatures here in the Burlington area and all of New England, and actually vast majority of the country, are going to be at or below normal. And again, that is definitely going to be reflected in our 7-day. So a real feel of winter coming up here as we head into the middle of January. So let's go ahead and take a look at that weather that we're expecting for the next 7 days here in the Burlington area. And again, as you can see on this graphic, there are no temperatures above freezing. And that looks like that pattern is going to stick around for quite some time. Again, starting out up here on Friday, fair skies, but that's going to be deceiving if you're looking out the window. It is going to be windy and chilly. Temperatures only in the mid and upper 20s. That wind chill feeling more like zero. And again, we're going to probably have to knock down these low temperatures at night much further. I think it's going to be much cooler at night now. At least that's what the models are showing. And of course, Saturday going into Sunday, we're going to see that messy mix of snow, rain, and ice here in the Burlington area. We could get a few inches. Nothing terrible, not a big blockbuster of a storm, but definitely much different than those temperatures we saw in the 70s a weekend ago. So keep an eye out for that. Going to be slick travel this weekend. Now, as we get into Monday and Tuesday, Monday being the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, we are going to see very cold temperatures, probably not even getting out of the teens. And as we get into Tuesday, look at that. We're going to be seeing temperatures maybe in the mid and upper teens, and lows at night probably around zero, maybe a little bit below zero. As we end out the end of the week, rounded out, we're going to see a chance of maybe some scattered snow showers here and there in the Burlington area. as cold air continues to be the real winner here. Temperatures only getting up into the lower 20s as we head to the end of the period. So everyone, stay out there, bundle up, and have a great week.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Flaherty with your community calendar. It's time to prepare for the spring foliage. On Wednesday, January 22nd from 7 to 8:30 p.m., the Burlington Public Library will be having a presentation called Tips and Tricks of Gardening, presented by Peter Coppola. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, go to burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Bring the kids and family out for a delicious breakfast. On Saturday, January 25th from 9 to 11 a.m., the Burlington Community Scholarship Foundation will have a character breakfast at Tony C's on 3rd Ave. Everyone is welcome and children 2 and under are free. Proceeds from the event will benefit the Adopt a Class of 2031. $10 per person and $30 per family. For tickets, go to tickettailor.com/events/BCSF. Come and see art from around Middlesex County. On Sunday, January 26th from 1 to 3 p.m., the 24th Annual Regional High School Art Show will be showcasing the surrounding area's artwork, including Burlington's. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more information, go to lexart.org or call 781-862-9696. I'm Chris Flaherty, and this has been your Community Calendar.
The Red Devils are battling hard this winter season. For the latest in all the action, we go now to BNews sports reporter Liz Gillespie for this week's sports report.
Hey everyone, I'm Liz Gillespie for your weekly sports report. Huge win for Burlington teams as the winter season hits high gear. On Tuesday evening, the boys and girls basketball teams played the Reading Rockets. Girls basketball scored a lot of points, 60 on the dot. Girls are riding high at 9-1 overall and 6-1 in the Middlesex League. The boys secured a postseason playoff spot for their 62-57 win over the Rockets. The boys are also at the top of the division and conference at 10-1. Both of the teams will make a trip up I-95 to visit the Wakefield Warriors on Friday evening. Boys swimming lost a big one against the Lowell Red Raiders on Tuesday evening, 99-69. The boys fall to 2-3 on the season, but will be back on Thursday afternoon to face the Belmont Marauders. Boys and girls hockey had home games on Wednesday evening against the Shawsheen Rams and the Melrose Red Raiders. We have highlights from both of those games, so let's check them out.
The boys and girls ice hockey teams had home games on Wednesday evening at the Ice Palace. First, we begin with the girls, as they faced the Shawsheen Valley Rams. The Rams answered first to make it 1-0. Then Burlington got 2 goals before the end of the period, 2-1. Now in the second, Burlington scored on a power play goal, 3-1. Minutes later, another goal was made by the Lady Devils, 4-1. By the end of the second, the girls scored 3 more points, 7-1. In the third and final period, the Lady Devils scored once more before the end of the game. The final score, 8-2, Burlington. We had a chance to talk to Coach Sheehan after the game.
Well, actually, we played pretty well. I had 8 goals. I had 7 different scorers. So it's always good when a couple of different people chip in and help out. Sophia Watassa got her first varsity goal today, which was exciting. Well, we talked about playing our game, which we like to skate. We like to force the other team to make some bad passes and hopefully cause some turnovers. So we got away. We didn't start out really well, and I think some of that's because we were young. We've had some bad starts, first period starts, but we picked it up in the second period. And today was kind of typical. I think they started once they get their first period under their belt, they start to feel a little more confident.
Highlights aren't over yet. We got another game to go over. Right after the girls played Shawsheen, the boys had a clash against the Melrose Red Raiders. In the first, Burlington scored only 1 goal, and Melrose did as well. In the second, the Red Devils scored twice against the Red Raiders. 3-2 at the end of the second. Now in the last period, Burlington scored 3 more goals, as well as Melrose, but the Red Devils took home the victory 6-5 was the final. We had a chance to speak with Coach Concession about the victory.
Yeah, tonight was a tough game, crazy game. We know that they're a really good team. There were a lot of goals scored, which as a coach drives you a little bit crazy. We let them back in the game 2 or 3 times. But offensively, we did some nice things. And I felt like the best part is we didn't take a penalty all night. We didn't put them on the power play. And they have 5 really good players to put on the power play. So we're very fortunate that we didn't put them on the power play.
The Lady Devils moved to 4-4-2, and the boys moved to 9-1. The teams will play the Lexington Minutemen on Saturday at the Ice Palace.
The boys wrestling team traveled to Beverly to take on the Panthers on Wednesday evening. The boys lost in a close match of 33-30. Pins in the meet were made by juniors Cam and Zach Soda, Joe Perna, Jack Laverty, and sophomore Adam Venice. The team falls to 4-6, and they will be in the X tourney on Saturday morning. Boys and girls indoor track teams were invited to the Massachusetts State Track Coaches Association North Invitational on Friday, January 10th through the 12th. 6 states were invited to that weekend: Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Vermont. A number of records were set for both teams. Freshman Grace Hannafin set the new school record in the 200 meter at 26.83. Junior Alex Keene clears 8 feet and 6 inches. He now holds the school record in the pole vault for indoor track. Senior Keenan Wilson jumped 40 feet and 4.5 inches, now set the school record for indoor track triple jump. Sean Thur set the school record for his performance in the 400 meters, who finished with 52.38. The boys will be back on Friday evening at the MSTCA State Relays at the Reggie Lewis Track and Tennis Center. And that's all for your weekly sports report. I'm Liz Gillespie. Back to you guys in the studio.
Place where there is always a lot happening is the Senior Center. We go now to Council on Aging Director Marge McDonald for the latest senior news.
Happy New Year. We are looking forward to an active and busy year at the Senior Center. We did start the year off with a glitch with the Senior Spotlight, although we mailed it on December 31st, and it should have been in everyone's mailboxes over the weekend. It didn't land until around January 8th. We apologize for that and are working this month to see if we can get the newsletter to the printer early so we get it back earlier. We have a professional health advocate, Lynn Croft, here on Wednesday, January 22nd at 1 p.m. She will cover talking to your doctor and how to make the most of your visit and to take a more active role in your health. We also have our monthly bereavement group at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. This is a great group that talks about what it's like to be alone after so many years, as well as being very supportive of each other. Pizza and a movie is also next Wednesday at 4 p.m. $3 is payable in advance, so we know how much pizza to order. We'll be showing The Big Country with Gregory Peck, Burl Ives, and Charles Bickford. We now also show a movie on the first Monday of the month, so you know that's what we are doing if you don't get the newsletter. February's movie will be Major League with Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen, and Corbin Burnson as we get ready for Truck Day, New England's first sign that spring will arrive. Eventually. On Monday the 27th, Rose Magliosi leads Casual Karaoke, a sing-along style activity that is lots of fun. We also have the new New Orleans Jazz Band at 7 p.m. 50 Plus Job Seekers Networking Group is at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday the 28th for those of you looking for jobs and needing support and encouragement in your job search. Just a reminder that the police dinner was rescheduled to January 28th. A reminder robocall will go out several days before. If you are unable to attend, please call the front desk so we can get folks in from the waiting list. We are now accepting appointments to get your simple 1040 taxes done by AARP tax volunteers, although appointments don't begin until February. I strongly suggest you call early as appointments tend to fill up quickly. Thank you to the original Rotary for donating coffee for the mornings. We also now have an organized coffee hour on Friday mornings in the room across from the kitchen. Coffee, tea, hot chocolate, and snacks to end the week with. It's a great time to come in and see what the center is all about if you've never been here. That's all for now. I'm Marge McDonald, and I hope to see you at the Senior Center.
Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo proves beauty can be found in unexpected places. Excuse me. Like a parking lot. It was sent in by Mary Leach, who says things are not always as they seem. Sometimes they are better. This reflection was seen on my walk in the parking lot of my office park in Burlington. Thank you for the photo, Mary. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your own door, or even photos of your family members, friends, and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share with us and the community. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. And finally this week, where have we got it up there? Finally this week, what was our readers' favorite photo of the week from all of 2019? We wanted to find out, so we posted all of them to Facebook and asked that people vote for their favorite with likes. We got a great response, but one stood above the others. So we present you with our BNews Photo of the Year. Are we presenting? There we go. The winning photo was sent in by Jen Hickey and features a cardinal taking a bath in the water collected in their pool cover before the pool was opened for the summer at their Frothingham Road home. Congratulations, Jen, on having your photo named Photo of the Year. Okay, let me go here to camera 2. That's it for the news desk here at BNews Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher, along with Rich Hosford, Chris Flaherty, Robert Paris, John Vias, Peter Brown, Liz Gillespie, and Marge McDonald. Thank you for joining us.